Welcome to the Football Fan Show podcast. This week I'm Danny Harrington. Joining me is Callum Brown to discuss the Champions League final, the Europa League Championship playoff final, as well as the latest managerial merry-go-rounds at Celtic, Real Madrid, Crystal Palace and Tottenham as well. Thanks for joining me. Let's get straight into it. But I can't cough into a microphone. COVID. Great start. I sound hungover, don't I?
You look hungover.
Do I look it? It's because I've got my niece here, and she absolutely shattered me from going to the park yesterday. So I was running around. I don't go to a gym.
You don't
as
do
you can
physical
clearly
activity.
see. I do not do physical. Yes, you're right there, Callum. Callum Brown's my guest, and yeah, you're right. I do not do fitness in any way whatsoever. It's just not for me. It's just not for me. Don't know why we can't get you on the stream today for some reason. I don't know why. It just isn't working.
Hear me at least.
Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you at the very least, but for some reason we cannot get you on. I'm not sure why. Which is,
I guess that spares anyone watching to see my mug.
I'm not saying anything. I'm not. I mean, quite
No, you don't
frankly,
have to.
I've got bags under my eyes and my hair's messy. But then
I was
again,
gonna say, first thing I noticed was your hair. I was like, Jesus Christ, you just woke up.
well, to be fair, I've been up for a while. I never brush my hair.
Never ever.
Never brush it.
No,
I
it's
never
not
brush
really-
my hair. So
You're
that's
one of
why it all
those
stands up.
kinds.
I like my hair spiky, standing up. So I don't like flat hair.
Just use gel.
No, because I've figured out if you never brush it, then it just stays natural. Then it just grows like that. So you never need gel. There you go, kids. Just don't brush your hair. That's my
Well, I'd say any girls watching, don't listen to that. Fellas, just
Oh yeah, girls brush your hair. Well, we don't want to be sexist. I mean,
Well,
the
I just
girls
don't
can
think
do what
that-
they like.
Well, I mean, you can do what you want, of course. All more power. But just saying, girls get more care about it. I mean, the majority of girls, I would say, are more likely to care about their hair than lads are.
Absolutely.
But you are well within your right to do whatever you want.
Of course. I don't know why we can't get you on the stream today, but we can't for some reason. I don't know why. NDI just doesn't want to work. So, with that said, I wonder if there's an update or something. I have no idea, but it's not working. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter anyway. The Champions League final was last night, and of course we're reacting to it on the stream tonight. Today. Oh God, it's not Saturday night. Ugh, I feel shit.
You see the sun behind you.
No. I live for the night.
You hide away.
I live
Hide
for the
away from
night.
the sun.
I live for the night time. So yeah. The Champions League final was last night, and Callum did not watch it. I'm reliably informed.
Well, I kept up to date with it. Kept to the updates.
Fair enough. Yeah, so I watched it, and it wasn't the greatest game of football ever. I got to be honest.
Typical of a Champions League final. In
Pretty
recent
much.
years, anyway.
Pretty much. Yeah. It just wasn't. It wasn't very good. I just. First 20 minutes or so were Manchester City. It was just dominated by Manchester City.
Yeah.
Because they just went all out for it. That's what they wanted to do. Quite frankly, the team selection was baffling from a Manchester City perspective, because you had Fernandinho not starting. You also didn't have Rodri starting. And for a team like Chelsea that always hit you on the break, that are always quite counter-attacking, you need somebody to shut that down. And Fernandinho is the perfect player to do that, because he always kind of does that for Manchester City. But the fact that they didn't start him...
Well, I mean, Rodgers been the go-to guy for them this season, hasn't he? I mean, Fernandinho's hit the age where he just can't run anymore. So
yeah, but not starting either. Rodri or Fernandinho was.
Didn't start either.
He didn't start either of them. No, he did not start
Which is
either
midfield
of
then?
them. I will just get that for you, but yeah, he did not start. Rodri, I believe Rodri. I know Fernandinho came off the bench, but yeah, he didn't start Rodri or Fernandinho in that. He was trying to throw a spanner in the works, and I don't think it worked. I don't.
No. Well, clearly.
So here we go. So they had Gundogan as the number as essentially the go-between between the attacking players and the defenders.
The holding mid.
Yeah.
So they were very, very attacking.
Yeah, they just went all out attack from the get-go. From
bit naive, like.
From the get-go, they were all out attack, and it was massively naive. And yeah, when you look at the Chelsea lineup, so let's go through the lineups. You got Mahrez in goal, Walker, Stones, Diaz, Zinchenko, Silva, Gundogan, Foden, Mahrez, De Bruyne, Sterling. Now, De Bruyne, I will say I did feel sorry for Kevin De Bruyne in the match. He got absolutely taken out, and he was in absolute tears. Chelsea, they had Mendy, Azpilicueta, Silva, Rudiger in defence, Chilwell, Jorginho, Kante, Reece James in the midfield with the wingers, Mason Mount, Kai Havertz, and then Timo Werner started up front. Timo Werner missing some very good chances. I just get the feeling that Timo Werner is incredibly overrated. And he was very good at Leipzig, absolutely appalling at Chelsea. But isn't that the way? Isn't that the way when great strikers go from clubs that they score a lot of goals at for good money, they go to Chelsea? Fernando Torres, anybody? It just always comes to mind as the atypical Chelsea failure.
Yeah, I don't understand it with Timo Werner, because he's got all the attributes to be, get loads of goals for them, and he gets in good positions. I don't know what it is. His composure has just gone out the window completely.
Yeah, he looks under pressure constantly, and
I could make a song reference there, but I'll leave it.
Yes, I thought about it. Well, they do. Don't they play on the Queen's Road, Chelsea, or something like that? Anyway, so it did finish 1-0. Kai Havertz with the 42nd minute goal. The goalkeeper, essentially, the City goalkeeper, rushed out and well, he wasn't exactly going to handle the ball outside the box as he rushes towards Havertz, who has the ball at his feet. You could just see the goalkeeper just run, the City keeper run towards him, but he has to tuck his hands in at his side. Yeah. He has to tuck his arms in. So it's literally like, well, then just stay on your line.
Just stay in line. What's the point you even being there? Yeah.
Like that's just amateur hour.
Well, that's just Edison, though, isn't he? He has those kind of things. People still think City fans think he's better than Alisson. And I'm sorry to bring in Liverpool, but he has those in him where he's done it a couple of times in Champions League this season where he's run out and he's been caught out badly, and he's got away with it until last night.
I should tell you who came off the bench for City. Gabriel Jesus, Sergio Aguero with 15 minutes to go. You'd have thought, it being the biggest game in the club's history, that Sergio Aguero would have started,
or at least been given a full 45 minutes.
Yeah, not 15 minutes, not shove him on at the end as a courtesy.
The guy's a great ever goal scorer. He's leaving, and he famously said or quoted that he'll only leave when he wins Champions League. Like, send him out on a high with a goal to play some part of it.
Yeah,
but no, they put Pep beats the idiot he is in the Champions League. I don't know what it is, but Pep literally himself balls in the Champions League and makes baffling decisions.
And Fernandinho coming off the bench. It wasn't exactly a masterclass from Pep Guardiola. I will say Christian Pulisic came off the bench for Chelsea, becoming the first American to win the Champions League.
Why are you saying it like that for?
Because they're American. Ugh.
Why are you saying American?
American.
Say American. American.
Yes, American. I'm just trying to be a little bit insulting to the old USA. Bit pompous Brit towards, because their football is very different to ours.
You're falling right into this stereotype how they think we are.
Exactly. That's what I want.
Well, that's bad. You don't want that.
That's what I want.
I don't want.
I like leaning into stereotypes.
Like, I love America. I don't want to go to America and the first thing they say is, "Oh, you got a cup of tea." I'm like, no.
Do you have tea with the Queen? No, mate. I live in Liverpool. She lives in London.
Yeah. She doesn't like Liverpool. She doesn't like me.
She's never been there.
Like, we are literal ants to her dirt onto her boots.
Jesus. That's I could make a joke, but no, I'm not going to. Christian Pulisic became the first American to win the Champions League, which is a nice stat for you if you're a stat man. I really want to, yeah. I was about to go into the scat man then instead of stat man. I was about to go the stat man. Oh God, no. I don't know what I'm doing. So yes, Chelsea 1-0. I mean, Man City did have some good chances towards the end of the game, but for me, Tuchel lost the final last year. I think he wasn't going to win. Wasn't going to lose it again this time round. And the fact that after winning the Premier League, Manchester City, and I'm not saying Man City fans said this, but there were a few so-called football experts that were suggesting, "Oh, Pep Guardiola's one of the greatest manager of all time."
Well,
really? No.
No, I think without primarily no Messi, he's just a bit of a sham, really.
Yeah, as I just said on Twitter when I was promoting doing this stream, I've been saying all season that I don't think Pep's as good as everybody thinks he is. I've been saying it all season. When you spend hundreds of millions of pounds,
£1 billion.
Yeah, and you buy every defender in Christendom, and then you go, we've got the defenders, we can win the Premier League. But then, you spend all that money. He was bought in to win the Champions League. Pep has not won a Champions League title outside of Barcelona.
Well, I don't think that the City fans are going to call him a failure.
Oh no, the City fans love it. They were playing Gillingham in the playoff final in 20 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, fact of the matter is they'll be happy with what he's done. I would just like to see him just to see what he would do at a mid-table club or a relegation fight.
Exactly.
Just someone with even just half the budget, because most of these clubs have less than half the budget that they have.
That's what I was saying about Zidane.
I want him, because they know how to play my style football. If he had to go into a team where he couldn't just do that, he had to coach them, the players he had, even though they weren't as good as the ones he wanted. And I see where he ends up, how he done. Because he couldn't, I bet he couldn't stand it. Because he can't just throw money at it.
Yeah, I know exactly. For some reason, I now know what my issue was with. Yes, we have a new follower. Thank you very much. To DVA_ mechanics for the Aguero.
Sounds like an official business.
I love that. You never know. You never know. Anyway, we've now sorted our NDI problems. Apparently the issue was my internet being utterly terrible. So that was the issue. That was the issue. Can you now see me? Yes, we can now see. We can see you. You're here. You're live. We're all live, and you can.
My face is what loads of people around the world can see.
Yes, and mine, for some reason, as well.
Ignore the massive double chin that I've got.
Ignore the terrible 16-year-old facial hair that I've got.
16-year-old facial hair.
I have this is not football related. We're just trying to make each other laugh at this point. I have the facial hair of a pre-pubescent. I get ID'd for lottery tickets without this stuff. I'm not 16. Although I always take it as a compliment.
That's when you tone of voice and your weird hair, you look like a bit like a 17-year-old like guitar student or something.
Oh, that's what you want to hear. That's what you want, like a 17-year-old music student. That's what I want to hear.
Trying to be cool with your little crappy little beard.
My soul patch. I'd get rid of... No. If I really wanted to lean into it, I'd get rid of all this and just keep the soul patch.
Please don't. You're full on, bloody yeah. What's his name?
Couldn't pull it off. I couldn't pull it off. That's why.
I don't know why. I was thinking of someone then who just a little soul patch. I don't know why, but a wrestler came to mind. I can't remember his name.
The new Saint and Greavesy show.
No,
I mean, I'd take that. I'd take being Saint and Greavesy. Classic bit of football television. Hey, let's get an invitation to New York City. We'll do the League Cup draw, the Carabao Cup draw with Donald Trump. Oh wait, no, that's a bad idea.
I was going to say,
but they did it. They did it.
I don't want to see you in the same room as Donald.
Yeah. Well, we could be. Let's talk about getting away with it. Chelsea.
Put you in federal prison.
Chelsea tonight. Chelsea last night. They won. They beat Manchester City. They spent so much. I'm going to drop the accent now. Chelsea beat Manchester City 1-0 in Porto. And the best bit was that obviously the cup draw with Biden. Hey, if Joe wants if Joe wants to publicise himself on this channel, we're quite happy to do the EFL Cup. Heck, we take the Mickey Mouse Trophy draw. What is it called now? The Papa John's Trophy. The one they used to do on Soccer AM with like playing cards from Play Your Cards Right.
Didn't Steele Johnson's Pink Trophy or something?
Yeah, and then before that it was the LDV Vans Trophy.
I don't know what's
I know, classic bit of names. Classic names. I still love the Worthington Cup for the League Cup. Worthington.
Yeah, and so we won the Worthington Cup in 2002, 1. I still remember that.
Wasn't it like the Coca-Cola Cup in the 90s? I prefer that. That's a cool name. Like I liked it when the EFL was called like the Coca-Cola League 2, Coca-Cola League 1, Coca-Cola Championship.
I remember that. Yeah.
I'm like, oh yeah, we playing Coca-Cola League 1. Now it's Sky Bet League 2.
It's a bit average, like your team, isn't it?
Thank you. Just you know what? I appreciate that. The you know what? Not the stabbing in the back. Just walk up to me and just go Game of Thrones style.
I don't. That's mean. I'm sorry, mate, but your team's not.
I know we're shit.
I can just walk up to you and say it.
I know we're crap. We've got a new manager. We'll get into it a little bit later. So Thomas Tuchel, who lost last year's final with PSG, wins it with Chelsea this year. It means that a German manager has won the last 3 now Champions League titles. What is it about German managers that are just so good?
Efficient, mechanical.
That's so stereotypical. Yes, we must be efficient. We must. Sorry.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'd like to say Jurgen Klopp is like cold and efficient, but he's the opposite. Well, he's efficient, but he's just a very jovial man. Hansi Flick just had a very good team, last year. Obviously, Thomas Tuchel, I think, just learned from his experience last year and set his team up well.
And the last 2 Champions League managers, they didn't mention this, took over. The last 2 Champions League winning managers took over mid-season. So Hansi Flick took over mid-season at Bayern, and now Thomas Tuchel took over mid-season from Frank Lampard at Chelsea. That's right. And German Wealthy Dart 6'8", 5'6" says Germans finally got good at conquering Europe.
Ouch.
I love that.
Wow.
That's the joke of the day. I love that.
Yeah.
They had 2 attempts and they failed miserably.
Yeah.
Lovely. So yes, any more in the Champions League final other than kind of City proving that Pep Guardiola is not the greatest manager of all time? He looked dumb. There's not much to analyse because there wasn't a lot. It was pretty end-to-end stuff. I mean, City dominated the early 20 minutes and then Chelsea kind of came back into it. Both teams had some very good chances to, City had good chances to equalise. Chelsea had a very good chance towards the end of the game to get a second one. I just want to say, you know what? We've criticised referees all season on this channel. I want to praise the referee last night. The referee was fantastic.
Who are you? What have you done with Daniel Harrington?
I have no idea. I'm just an imposter.
You praising a referee?
I am praising a referee because the referee last night was fantastic. So there was a call for handball in the penalty area, and the referee just goes, no, it came off his chest, then his arm. And that was it. There was a VAR check, but it was done like that. The referee made good decisions consistently.
He was a European referee.
Yes, he was. He was Spanish.
Yeah.
He was consistently on the ball. Like, he just made the correct decisions at a moment's notice.
Because he's trained properly.
Didn't need VAR.
He's not a blubbering idiot.
That wants to be the centre of attention like English referees.
Oh, God. In one in particular. We know well.
Don't worry, we're both going to go to therapy for that.
Shout out to, apparently, Angola Kante had a very good man-the-match performance. Like, bossed that midfield by himself. I mean, he's, fine. Remember how good he is.
Yeah, so Chelsea now are the third English side to win the Champions League on 2 occasions after... I suppose it's within the last 20 years, because obviously you had Liverpool win it in 2004, 2005, 2018, 2019, Manchester United in 98, 99, 2007, 2008. Of course, they didn't win back-to-back Champions Leagues like the greatest manager who ever did live, Brian Clough. Sorry, I'll shut up about him. Sorry, I just love Brian. Hey, I should show you the book I'm reading, The Damned United by David Pearce. It's all about Cloughie. Guardiola has now lost more matches against Chelsea in all competitions than against any other club, losing his last 3 in a row. Which games did he lose? He lost in the Premier League, he lost in the FA Cup, and now he's lost in the Champions. You know what? To be fair, I was joking around before the Champions League final, after they met in the FA Cup semi-final and the Premier League, and I said that if Pep Guardiola played weakened teams in those games as a ploy to give Thomas Tuchel a false sense of self-confidence, and then Man City went on to smash Chelsea in the final, I would admit that Pep Guardiola was the greatest manager ever. But he didn't.
Well, let's be glad you didn't.
He didn't. I knew he wouldn't, because I know he's not that good.
He is good. He's just not good in the Champions League.
Give him a budget. Give him a smaller budget. He wouldn't be half as successful as what he's been.
Yeah. And I saw. I don't know who it was. It might have been Gareth last night. I said, commiserations to Man City. I was like, no. Why?
No one's commiserating them.
No.
So we'll end the Champions League discussion by saying, of course, Man City fans, just remember, when you're looking back at last night, don't look back in anger.
Oh, I can't wait to see the look on his face.
I mean, they were both there, both Noel and Liam Gallagher.
Yeah.
I mean,
Noel,
BT decided to interview Noel, but Liam was there as well.
Yeah, Noel's the one who keeps on spouting his mouth off at the start of every season, going, I think we can win the quadruple, and I think we can do this before Liverpool and that before Liverpool. Shove up your ass, Noel. Your music's shit.
There we go. Wealthy Dart says he needs to win. Pep Guardiola needs to win the Papa John's trophy to be the greatest manager ever. I concur. I concur with that assessment.
you lower league peons can go in with your Papa John's trophy.
I think he should. Well, he has an opportunity to. He can manage Manchester City's under-23s. Liverpool could win the Papa John's trophy if Jurgen Klopp decided to manage the under-23s in the competition.
Imagine that.
Imagine going to Wembley, Liverpool under-23s versus who's a random football league team? Oh, I was thinking Harrogate for some reason, Harrogate Town, but Swindon.
Well,
works.
same level. Same level, like.
Actually, genuinely same level. Sutton United. They've just been promoted. Let's say Sutton United. So Chelsea are the now two-time European champions, and well done to them. Well done to them. And also, more Oasis references. Man City fans, stop crying your heart out. Terrible. Liverpool under-23s versus Cheltenham Town. Now that is the game I want to see. Papa John's Trophy final. That's the game I want to see. Or Newport County versus Man City under-23. Speaking of Newport, they're in the playoff final on Monday in League 2. League 1, by the way, there's a playoff final happening later today. We've also got...
Congratulations to Brentford as well.
Well, we'll chat about them in a minute. What do you want to do? Championship playoff final now, or Europa, or have a laugh at Manchester United's expense?
I mean, you're asking me.
I mean, you're obviously going to lean towards laughing at Manchester United's expense.
Yeah, just laugh at Manchester itself. Just a city.
As a city, they have not had the greatest days in Europe this week.
Or ever, really.
Well, that is true. Villarreal winning their first ever trophy. Good evening, Villarreal. They've won their first ever trophy. Yeah. They had never won a trophy before winning the Europa League.
Unai Emery is now a 4-time winner.
Yeah,
and the Europa League.
So the game finished 1-1. It finished 11-10 on penalties, and as soon as I saw David De Gea step up, I knew, because he's always the villain for Manchester United. He's the one player that has a complete scapegoat villain. You know, he is.
I still think he's better than Dean Henderson.
I disagree. I think Hendo is better.
I
genuinely believe.
What's Dean Henderson done to actually earn himself the number 1 spot? And people think he should be starting for England. What's he actually done? Nothing.
Not for England. Average. But at Sheffield United, he was fantastic. He deserves a shot.
This is me picking Jordan Pickford over Dean Henderson. I
know.
I
can see the vomit in you. I can see you preparing to vomit.
The bile.
The bile.
Yeah.
Yes. But with that said, David De Gea missing a penalty. He's not a penalty taker. He's a goddamn goalkeeper.
He didn't miss. It was still on target.
I mean, yeah.
The goalie just saved it.
The goalkeeper saved it. At least it was on target. At least every penalty was on target. But Europa, the Europa League was won by Villarreal. Is this a shithouse victory? I saw somebody online saying, "Oh, as long as Unai Emery's in the Europa League final, he'll find a way to shithouse a victory."
I don't think it was. I don't. To be honest, I actually watched most of that time. I didn't watch extra time, but I watched like the 90 minutes, and I mean, he did sit back a lot.
Yeah.
And even when they got the ball, they didn't really try and attack. I was like, come on, Man United are wide open. They can do something. But then Man United was just terrible. Every time they got the ball forward, it was just like watching us at times, slow, lethargic, and just they didn't look like they were going to score at all. So yeah, when I saw Villarreal's goal, I was like, Jesus Christ! I was like, these are sat back the whole bloody match, and they get one from a set piece. But yeah, I mean, I think the longer it dragged on without scoring, I think it was always going to go to penalties.
Yeah, and let's just tell you who scored. Moreno for Villarreal. I wonder which English club did he used to? Moreno, 29th minute. Not Gerard Moreno. I'm thinking of somebody else.
Oh,
Cavani.
Alberto Moreno,
Cavani,
the left
55th
back.
minute. Yeah.
He played for us. Yeah.
Yeah. I believe one of your Gerard Moreno with a goal. I believe one of the Villarreal players that used to play for Liverpool was very happy.
Yeah.
With the result.
Yeah.
It means that Villarreal are the first side to win their first. Essentially win the competition in their first appearance in a major European trophy since Shakhtar Donetsk in 2008-09. Villarreal, the first side to win in their first appearance in a major European final since Shakhtar in the UEFA Cup, same competition in 08-09. So, good evening. Manchester United have lost their last six. 6 out of their last 7 penalty shootouts in all competitions, only beating Rochdale in the League Cup. Lovely stat. League One Rochdale in September of 2019.
Just casually beating Rochdale in the League Cup. I mean, that just says it all, doesn't it?
Absolutely. They can beat Rochdale on penalties.
But not anyone else.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they can't. I mean, penalties is a lottery. Anyway, so
that's what it is, isn't it? It's just about. It's just not even about. As long as you get on target, it's then just about the keeper saving it. That's all it is. It's you just. I mean, when you're a keeper, it's you're never going to lose because you go one way or another and you save it if you go the right way.
I just, you know what, the Villarreal penalties were all classic. They were all great penalties, whereas the Manchester United ones looked more nervy. To be fair, Manchester United, I mean, the one thing you can take away from this game is that Cavani was the only one that actually turned up for Manchester United. Everybody else was just like, oh.
People still want to hype Pogba up. Yeah.
Yeah, and people, to be fair, people were saying that, this is an opportunity for Ole to finally win his first trophy.
Well,
for Manchester United sorry,
Schmeigel.
Sorry, Schmeigel. It's just, it was not. They just didn't turn up, and I'm not really sure Ole is the man to bring trophies to Manchester United.
I think he's got as far as he can go.
Yeah, I think second in the Premier League. I think that's good for him to now. But who else would they get? That's the question. Who are you going to get? Poch is at PSG. For now, anyway. We'll get on to that.
See what happens.
Yes, we'll get on to that. I mean, the worst manager in all of Europe is available. Zinedine Zidane. But I'm assuming if he took over at Manchester United, they'd be in the Championship faster than you can say Accrington Stanley, who are they?
I mean, but Chelsea not that bad.
We'll get to transfer rumours as well because
you categorise him in the same way as Pep. You say if Pep married Manchester United, would they be in the Championship?
No. I'm exaggerating my point, but I think Zinedine Zidane is a worse manager than Pep. I think Pep's a better manager than Zizou.
Well, I mean, I think, to be honest, just for someone Zidane, I think he wants the French national job. I think.
Yeah, I don't see him managing. I don't see him managing another club. I thought he might go to Juventus, maybe, because he used to play for that club. But you know what? When I was talking about Zidane, which is a podcast special, by the way, you can check it out on Spotify. I said that he should probably retire after his second spell at Madrid because he's never going to be as successful anywhere else. Unless he gets offered the French national team job, he should not take another job in football.
I think that's what he wants. But yeah, Juventus has got Allegri back, which I think is probably the best move they could have done because they were good under him.
Either Allegri or Conte for Juventus, in my opinion.
I mean, maybe Conte to Madrid.
Yeah, that's what I see potentially happening. By the way, there are live games today. There's Blackpool versus Lincoln City in the League One playoff final.
If you're interested in that.
If you're interested, I'm interested in that. I love lower league football. I want to see Blackpool or Lincoln City in there. I prefer Lincoln City in the Championship because they haven't been there for a long time. But Blackpool, ex-Premier League club. And obviously in the big game today, you've heard about the big game today, Callum, I assume? You've heard about the biggest game of the day.
Here we go.
In World Cup qualifying, it's Guam 0, China 2 at halftime. And Mexico beat Iceland.
Guam 0,
China 2. Guam 0, China 2.
I didn't realise Guam was recognised as a country.
Yeah, well, it is. They've got a football team, and they're currently losing 2-0 to to China, and that's China People's Republic. China, not Chinese Taipei, aka Taiwan, or Republic of China.
Are we doing geography now? Are we?
Yes, we are now doing geography.
I mean, China's bloody awful, and Guam are losing 2-0. Oh my god!
I mean, Guam can't have that many players.
I love how casually you said it. It's like the greatest match of the day. Guam 0, China 2.
I concur with the idea that it's the greatest game ever. World football needs teams like Wealthy Dart. You're back again, and you're saying everything I like. Zidane to Doncaster Rovers.
Wow,
I like that. Make it happen, football gods. Make it happen.
That's a shout.
Zinedine Zidane to Doncaster Rovers.
He'd say, who's approaching Doncaster? I've never heard.
He's never heard of it. Doncaster? Yeah, the Titans of Doncaster. You've never heard of Doncaster?
Just get him.
Donny?
I was going to get Jeff Selling, but they're not his club, are they?
No, they're Hartlepool.
Hartlepool, yeah, I was going to say.
Hartlepool. Zidane to Doncaster. I love that. Yes, make it happen. You know what? If he took that job and got them into the Premier League, no matter how long it took him, I'll admit he's a good manager.
Yeah. Maidenhead United.
My mum's team. I say it's my mum's team. She hates football. I always jokingly say, "Oh, it's your hometown club. They're depressingly a league below Swindon." Oh, great. My hometown club. Jesus. Although I keep teasing her and saying, "Oh, if they're in the same league, we're going to a game," and she's like, "I'm not interested in football." And just like, but it'd be a laugh. It'd be a laugh. We'll get the beers in. We'll sit at the county ground and we'll watch.
Swindon get battered.
I'd like to think we'd hold our own against me. Actually, no.
Just hold out with all your strength for a 0-0 draw.
Yeah, probably. Let's talk about the Championship playoff final that happened yesterday. Brentford have finally Premier League. They're top flight for the first time since 1949.
Like that.
1949, I believe.
I'm glad for them.
I'm very happy for them because it means that my conspiracy theory of Ivan Toney replacing Harry Kane at Tottenham will not come to pass.
We go. He's not going to bully Tottenham.
Which, by the way, went viral on Instagram, so I'm very happy about that. Wealthy Dart, your mum to be the next Doncaster manager. She wouldn't be interested. I gotta be honest.
And I think your mum wouldn't just tell him to piss off if they get the assistant manager.
I mean, she doesn't use that kind of language. She'd be like, "Oh,
what's your mum's name? What's your mum's name?"
Oh yeah, I'm not saying that on air. I'm not. I'm just not Brenda.
Nothing wrong with that. I'm not going to skit your mum. Bloody hell, not that bad. You're the assistant manager going, "Hey, Brenda, we need you here. The players need to see you. They need to know you exist." And she's like, "Oh, poppycock."
And now that's more the kind of language she'd use.
Oh, poppycock.
I mean, she is from the Tory heartlands of just outside of London, Buckinghamshire, Berkshire, that kind of way. So yeah, you know, she is. I always say she talks posh. Don't worry, she don't vote for Tory. She don't vote Tory. Don't worry, she don't vote Tory. No. We've all got a bit more common sense in this household. Labour. Although saying that, I didn't vote Labour at the last election. Sorry, we're talking about politics. I don't really want to talk about politics. I want to talk about the Championship playoff final, where Brentford got a 2-0 win against Swansea City. And Ivan Toney with the 10th minute penalty, making it 1-0. And then Marcondes, bad with names, 20th minute, 2-0. Fulton was sent off, red card for Swansea on the 65th minute, so they were down to 10 men. I loved the quote from the Brentford manager is, I'm not going to think about the Premier League today, I'm going to get really drunk, and then I'll think about the Premier League tomorrow. So I think what he's actually thinking now today is hangover cure and then Premier League. And I did love the fact that he swore on air as well.
He's got a Mackey's brekkie in his mouth, and he can't be bloody arsed.
Yeah, and he sent his captain out to go get some Greggs as well for the boys.
Get the Greggs in.
Get the Greggs. You know what? Greggs, hangover cure. Brilliant. Greggs sausage rolls.
Oh.
Haven't had one in over a year and a half.
I know. I'm desperate. I'm actually gagging one.
I'm desperate for a Greggs sausage roll. See, that's what should sponsor the Papa John's trophy, the Greggs trophy. That's what I want. The Greggs trophy. Forget
we
the
should
Papa
get Greggs
John's
as a
trophy.
sponsor for us.
I think Greggs should just sponsor the Premier League. Greggs, the Premier League brought to you by Greggs. Greggs Premier League. That sounds like some Eastern European league. Doesn't it?
Yeah.
That kind of sponsorship detail.
Sounds like something you'd find in like Saudi Arabia or something, or the
Greggs Super League. The European Super League featuring Real Madrid, Barcelona, and Juventus, brought to you by Greggs. The Greggs Super League. I love that.
Oh, honestly, no, I wouldn't have that because when Greggs is selling the soul, I couldn't have that.
You know what? It genuinely sounds like a rugby league sponsor. You know, rugby league, Greggs, Super League, Greggs.
Asda.
The Asda Super League. This is what the Swansea head coach Steve Cooper, who's being linked with the Crystal Palace job, said after the game. We are disappointed that we didn't win the game, which is what we came to do here. No.
Way to point out the bloody obvious.
Hello, Michael Owen.
Michael Owen, you've changed.
Michael Owen, you've changed. But to win games of football, Callum, as you all know, as we all know, we need to score goals.
We also can't concede goals.
We also can't. Yes, we also can't concede goals.
Like the striker shoots the ball in the goal.
Yeah. I was watching, to go off on another tangent, I was watching the Eurovision Song Contest last week, and they had a song from Bulgaria called Growing Up is Getting Old, and I'm like, that's an insightful piece of information that I wasn't aware of. That would totally come from the mouth of Michael Owen.
Was it Growing Up is Getting Old?
Yeah, Growing Up is Getting Old. It's, I just, no. Plus we finished with 0 points, which pissed me off. Back to the championship. Back to the championship playoff final. So Swansea's manager said, we had a few good chances. The players never gave up and gave it a really good go, certainly at the start of the second half. Yeah, they didn't turn up for the first 45 minutes, Swansea. They didn't turn up.
You can't really start the match halfway through, can you? And expect to win.
You know, it's a 90-minute match, not a 45-minute game. And for Man City in the Champions League final, I wouldn't say it's, don't turn up at the beginning of the match and then go away for a bit and then turn up again at the 75th minute for the last 15 minutes. Don't spend like 2 20-minute periods where it's all you and then let the other team just have their way. Brentford's head coach talked about the impact of COVID on the season, and said that he was just pleased to be a part of the fantastic journey that the club's been on, and was run by dedicated and intelligent people. And the way that they built the club was fantastic, and they feel very confident that they can avoid relegation, that they won't be a Fulham, for instance.
What was you said? Talking about a joke. Fulham.
Yes, Fulham.
Last week when we said that, I've been in tears, remember?
Talking about a joke.
Hey, but you know what funny is my theory that could happen Now that Brentford have got themselves promoted, maybe Ivan Toney thinks, you know what, I'm gonna stick it out here.
Yeah,
And
maybe
stay.
they could try and get Benrahma back from West Ham, and that's
To,
not going to
to be
happen.
fair, I'd rather stay at Brentford than go to Tottenham Hotspur.
I mean, yes, well, I don't know who's going to be the next Tottenham boss. We'll check the odds in a bit, but I think I'm delighted for Brentford, and obviously they've got their lovely new stadium and everything, and one of their players really annoyed me by his post-match press conference. He was talking about one of the doors for the bathroom in the dressing room being broken, and I'm like, I assume you're talking about Griffin Park and not the lovely new stadium that the club has spent hundreds of millions of pounds building that you're criticising there, because if I was the chairman of that club and you were criticising the new stadium, you'd be transfer listed immediately.
Yeah.
I'd be like, nope, you
No, not even that.
unappreciative wanker.
I'd walk onto the pitch if I was the chairman or the CEO. I'd walk on the pitch while he's doing his interview, grab him by the scruff of the neck, and push him out the front door straight away.
I'd get two people dressed as kind of North Korean military officials and just pick him up and drag him off.
That's not being stereotypical, is it?
Lovely. So Brentford are Premier League next season. We'll do our Premier League predictions in August when it comes time to do it. I'm not going to do it now; it's too early. I haven't had any thoughts. Yeah, we need transfers to happen first. Before that, we'll get to transfer rumours in a bit. Of course, with Brentford being in the Premier League, it makes it makes transfers interesting, because we know now Ivan Toney's probably staying at
well,
Brentford.
I said that.
Well, as you said,
you still want him to move, or you still think he might move?
No, I to be fair, when we talked about it, I said it was on the assumption that Brentford weren't going to get promoted, and at that point they had lost 1-0 to Bournemouth.
Yeah, I remember.
I thought they were going to bottle it again. Speaking of bottling, we go back to last Sunday. Leicester City, what the hell happened with them?
Oh yeah, we haven't talked about it, have we? Last day of the season, have we?
That was so. We're only going to talk about the top four, but Liverpool. So I owe you an apology.
Yeah, you do.
I do. I owe you an apology, because I thought Liverpool had the three teams that were the spoilers, and that they were going to get a draw against one. Now, quite frankly, you nearly did against West Brom.
Yeah.
Oh my! Can I just thank, on behalf of all football fans, unless you like Sam Allardyce, of course.
Then you're just a weirdo.
Just thank you to Liverpool, because he was so salty. So salty after that game. I loved it. I loved every single moment.
He was saltier than the salt on his fish and chips.
It's just someone's holding his fish and chips underneath his tears.
Yeah, he did. Oh, he was absolutely miserable, and he couldn't bow out gracefully, could he? He spat his dummy out, didn't he? So,
Big Sam to Real Madrid. I mean, no. Big Sam not to Real Madrid. Big Sam to PSG. Because they talk about Paris. No. They talk about Paris having culture and all that. There's nothing on Paris that Dudley doesn't provide. Dudley is the cultural capital of
Paris Dudley
of England. Well, it's the Paris of the West Midlands. I joke, of course. Sam Allardyce would bring culture and class to PSG, and a lot of great sausage rolls.
I can imagine Neymar standing there looking at him going, how does someone even look like that?
Neymar will be like, I see you run down the wing. Here's your Greg sausage roll as a reward.
Here's your beef pie.
Wealthy Dart says, I've seen Big Sam at Monaco during the F1. That's as bad as cultured as Big Sam can get, right?
Jesus Christ. You can imagine him sitting there, can't you, with his sunglasses on, with his his sort of Hawaiian shirt and his shorts and his sandals with his socks on.
Socks and sandals, typical English tourist.
With his cigar, with his little glass of wine. Oh, like
not a cigar. Not a cigar. Greg's sausage roll hanging out of his mouth. It's always got to be a Greg sausage roll with Big Sam.
Inhaling his bowl of gravy, yeah.
Yeah, it's got to be a Greg sausage roll with Big Sam. That's what I imagine he eats on a daily basis. It's just Greg sausage rolls. He seems like the kind of guy that would like a Greg sausage roll all day, every day.
But I like Greg sausage rolls. I don't want him eating Greg sausage rolls.
Yeah, but he's the kind. I'm sorry, Greg's, but he's kind of your stereotype for me.
He's your mascot.
He's just in my mind.
Just get him in a sausage roll outfit.
In my mind, he's just get him in a sausage roll outfit. Hey, at least you know what? At least it'd be better than the bloody West Bromwich Albion mascot. You know what the West Brom mascot is?
No.
A combi boiler, because they were sponsored by a boiler company. The mascot was a combi boiler. Who has a goddamn boiler as a mascot?
Hey, he could literally wear a boiler suit. Orange boiler suit.
Move the dressing room to the boiler room. There you go. Who has a combi boiler? Who sponsors who gets their mascot as a sponsor? Like Ronald McDonald will sponsor. Like he'll be the mascot of whatever club he sponsors. Although that's a bit creepy. Wealthy Dart says £5,000 bottle of wine and a Greg sausage roll at Monaco. Now that is this isn't just any football manager. This is Sam Allardyce, football manager.
This
Play
is
Groove
M&S.
Armada in the background. Yeah, M&S. Play Groove Armada at the river in the background. This isn't just any football.
This is an M&S format, and it's like a zoom. It's like a close up of his face while he's eating a soft ball with a sensual music on. Ooh.
This is just any sausage roll. This is Sam Allardyce's sausage roll.
And he pulls it away, and he's got all the sausage roll around his mouth and that. And it's a close up of him wiping his hand like that
with gravy,
licking his chops. Yeah. That makes me nauseous even thinking about it.
Oh.
Big Sam, we love
we love Big Sam, greatest England manager of all time. Brought to you by Greggs. I really want him to be the spokesperson for Greggs now. I just want that to happen. Can we make that happen? Zidane, as well as said, Zidane at Doncaster. Big Sam as the spokesperson for Greggs. Can we make that happen, please? Please, I would seriously pay money for that to happen. I just love it.
Just imagine him doing an ad, aren't you? Get down to your local. I'm doing Yorkshire there, but I need to do a Dudley accent, don't I?
Dudley.
Get down to your local Greggs. Look, here's my customer. Here's my customer. Greg sausage roll. Only a pound ago. I got my daily two today.
With lots of gravy.
Starts just stuffing it in his mouth while on camera.
Do you reckon Big Sam walks into KFC and just asks for their gravy?
Oh, hey, KFC gravy is the nicest gravy.
Hey, I'm not knocking it. I just imagine that he doesn't really care for anything else. He just goes for the gravy.
Give me all right, love. Give me your biggest carton of gravy.
Oh, Big Sam with a 100% win rate.
Literally gets the biggest carton of gravy and just dunks his face in it.
Anyway, yeah. Sorry. Let's return to normality. The big news now that we're going to talk about is Celtic and Eddie Howe. Because it has been reported. Well, I think we were both wrong there because we both saw this as a dead cert, and I'm actually kind of angry about it.
Yeah, so am I.
Because it's not Celtic's fault; it's Eddie Howe's fault.
What actually happened? That means talk breakdown.
So apparently, it was it was about budgets and coaches, about who he could bring in. How big his coaching team was, essentially his demands.
And they were unacceptable.
Yes. So Sneltic, because I'm trying to merge the word Celtic and snub. Celtic have snubbed Eddie Howe as the club apparently, according to ABC News in Australia reporting on Scottish football, that's fucking weird, isn't it?
To be the news anchor reporting in
Exactly.
Australia.
I'm here in Glasgow, and it's fucking shit.
Good day, lads and ladies. Talking about Celtic Football Club.
That's Cockney.
I was going to say, you know what? I slip in. I can only do so many quotes in Australian, and I slip into whenever I try and do that, or like Danny, I always slip into.
Danny fucking Dyer. Hey, in the greatest game ever, China are 4-0 up against Guam. Brilliant. Woozy. Woozy sounds terrible, doesn't it? How are you feeling today?
Woozy.
Well, I'm feeling a bit woozy.
Woozy's feeling a bit woozy today. He had too many shots last night.
He's been hanging out with Jamie Vardy at his party at his Charlie, which, by the way, I found out what Charlie actually meant.
You can imagine a Chinese person getting drunk off WKDs, can't you?
WKD Blue as well.
Brilliant. Yeah, Woozy's on fire.
Woozy with the goal. Woozy. 61st minute. 4-0 for China against the Titans of Guam. The Titans of Guam versus the immovable object of China's People's Republic. Gonna win the World Cup eventually. Anyway, back to the Celtic news. That ABC in Australia, apparently, they're reporting that the club feel amateurish. That the club has been left looking pretty amateurish by their negotiations with Eddie Howe. Celtic, though, are now in advanced talks with another. Hang on, let me find the candidate. They are now in advanced talks with Agne Postecoglou, who's currently Yokohama F Mariners manager.
What? They want a J-League manager?
Yes, who's Greek/Australian. Hence why the Australians were reporting that he's half Greek, half Australian.
That's a brilliant dual nationality, isn't it?
Yeah.
Imagine being Greek and Australian.
Well, they're both hot countries, I suppose. And quite frankly, with if you go into stereotypes with the Olympics, obviously they used to do that in the nude, and there are plenty of shirtless buff men apparently in Australia. I've watched Home and Away. They're always topless. They're always bloody topless. They don't have any decency there. Jack Ross is the second favourite, by the way. But this breakdown in communications between Eddie Howe and Celtic, just Celtic fans are claiming they feel betrayed. Well, Eddie Howe doesn't have any connection to Celtic. He never played for you. He has no connection to you at all. But what I will say is that I'm annoyed at Eddie Howe himself, because this was the job that was going to put him back on the map. Now my opinion of Eddie Howe has changed greatly, to a point where I think if he takes another Premier League job, he's getting found out and he's getting relegated. Because let's have a look at who is gonna, what jobs are he gonna get? He's not gonna get the Palace job. That's apparently going to go to Sean Dyche is the new favourite for that one, even though it's been Frank Lampard's been the favourite forever for that one. Even though now it's Sean Dyche, who has a 1 year left on his current Burnley deal. Eddie Howe's not going back to Burnley. Let's just say that scenario happens. Eddie Howe's not going back to Burnley. He tried that, failed. Eddie Howe has only ever been successful at one club, Bournemouth, and he took 2 spells. He left Bournemouth, went to Burnley. They were a mid-table champion. They had just come down like a season or 2 from the Premier League when they were managed by Owen Coyle and got promoted via the playoffs. They went straight back down and then he took over. He left Bournemouth, who were in League One at the time, went to Burnley, and kind of became mediocre. Like that Burnley team were mediocre, and despite having the likes of Charlie Austin in the squad, who, whilst he was at Swindon the season beforehand, was fantastic. And I still think Charlie Austin's a fantastic striker, even though he should be playing in the Premier League. And he's QPR.
Still QPR, is he? Yeah.
Yeah, he's still at QPR in the Championship. But yeah, he went there and then he went back to Bournemouth, and then got them promoted to from League One to the Championship, and then Championship.
I thought he was good
League.
With Bournemouth.
He was very good.
I thought he was right.
Yeah, Eddie Howe's been very good at Bournemouth, but that's it. He's been very good at Bournemouth. He was not.
But the fact that he was good with
Burnley.
them, like he was good, but then he still got relegated with them, and he still got linked to Tottenham job, Arsenal job. I mean, that, in my opinion, you know my opinion on them too. That's shown how far they've fallen. He must have been doing something right, and just didn't work out.
Yeah, I just, he spent. He only spent one season at Burnley, so he left Bournemouth, went to Burnley, lasted one season, and then went back to Bournemouth.
Maybe I'm just trying to think what other jobs might be available. To be honest, he's probably best going back to the Championship and get a team promoted.
I don't see him being as successful. I see the Celtic. If he wanted to get a future Premier League job, then the Celtic job was the way to go.
So
look at Brendan Rodgers.
Now your whole opinion of him has changed because he didn't get the Celtic job.
Well, because he turned it down. Well, essentially, because he made himself look like a fool. I don't think this is Celtic looking like fools, as this article suggests. I think it's Eddie Howe.
Obviously, he's come in. He said, right, okay, I'm willing to join you if I have this, and this. Celtic gone, well, we can't really offer you that, but we can offer you this. And he's gone, well, that doesn't really suit what I want to do with the club. Thanks very much, but no thanks.
I think Eddie Howe should have just compromised.
I think in terms of like you say about like Brendan Rodgers, I don't think Brendan Rodgers needs to do the Celtic job to the Leicester job. I think
he very much did. I think because kind of how it ended at Liverpool was not, to Liverpool's high standards and to what you'd come to expect from Liverpool. Yeah. So he needed to rebuild his reputation.
That.
Now the type of club that he would have ended up managing would have been a Burnley, Brighton, a team that's down there constantly.
Arsenal.
Arsenal. I'll give you that one. But a team that's down there constantly, that wouldn't have helped his career. Yeah. But going to Celtic and dominating as he did.
Did he just need to go and get that guaranteed success?
Yes. He needed it.
Because he's guaranteed success anyway when he went in.
For confidence, for people to have a look at him from a fresh perspective and go, well, you know what, he can win a lot of trophies. And you've seen, so that's why I think Leicester took the punt on him. And it was a punt, and they've won the FA Cup. Okay, yes, they were bottle jobs in the Premier League.
Yeah.
Which we'll get back to. But
yeah, we stopped talking, didn't we?
Yeah, we just stopped talking about that because we went on to Celtic. We'll get back to that.
Yeah, just that confidence.
That confidence that,
I mean, people forget, right? People forget. Like, if people want to say, "Oh, it didn't end well for him," it didn't end well at Liverpool. The fact of the matter is that we got within touching distance of Premier League title with a pretty, apart from like sort of one or two players, bang averaged squad. Apart from we had sort of an aging Gerrard in the midfield, and then we had Sturridge and Suarez up front, who done the magic. The rest of the team was bang average. That's what the defense was what let us down. But we almost done it. Imagine him win the Premier League with that team.
Yeah. It's just my opinion of Eddie Howe it's just changed.
Yeah.
I just don't see him being as successful.
Well, we'll see what happens, only because we've been wrong before.
He's a good manager. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. Very good manager. What he did at Bournemouth was spectacular. I just don't see him getting the job. If he thinks that he can go, say, to a top 10 club,
no,
he's delusional. No. But if he had taken over at
He
Celtic,
goes
went
like a
5
Wolves or something.
years. No, absolutely
Wolves
not.
aren't top 10.
No, he's not good enough for Wolves. But had he gone to Celtic, spent 5 years there, won a couple of trophies, then I would have said
5 years.
Yeah.
Would he need to spend 5 years there?
Yes. You need to win consistent trophies.
Well,
look at the job.
Then again, it's not when Brendan Rodgers was there when Celtic were dominant. Now that obviously Rangers have started their thing.
Yes.
Anyone who goes in there is not guaranteed success. They're in a fight with Rangers.
And if Eddie Howe wins that fight,
that'd be a big.
then
That would be if Eddie Howe went in and done well with them. That'd be a bigger achievement.
Yeah.
Than when Brendan Rodgers was there.
Exactly, and then you could people like myself could argue that he deserves a bigger job in the Premier League, but I can't argue that anymore.
What would be the equivalent of like a bigger job in?
I would say like a Villa, Leeds, Everton. Well, not really. Everton might be just a bit beyond, but just those teams that are just not top 7 but on the cusp of it.
Yeah.
Those kind of clubs.
Yeah.
Those are the type of teams that the big city teams that are on the cusp of. I mean, Everton are a bit beyond.
What? That's definitely not Everton.
Yeah, no, that's
big city.
They've got Carlo Ancelotti. They're in dream world.
Just fair talking about Everton and Tottenham. Have you seen the reports in the Express of linking Ronaldo to them? I mean, honestly, Mum and Dad said that to me last night, and I was like, no bloody way. And there's actually real reports linking because he wants to play with Ancelotti.
Oh right, I've not seen those. I've seen Manchester United preparing a bid to bring back Ronaldo.
I could see him more realistically going to back to United, but apparently I saw. I mean, Mum and Dad showed me the articles in a Daily Express article linking him because he wants to play for Ancelotti, and I was like, no bloody way. They haven't got the bloody money for him.
Yeah, they really don't. I don't know where Ronaldo will go, but we'll have a look maybe later. But yeah, I just think Eddie Howe's kind of shot himself in the foot with this one. So it doesn't look like that my preferred candidate is not getting that Celtic job, and then it's going to go to a complete unknown to us. I mean, and the last time that happened was Ronnie Dyler
won the J League.
I've no idea. I think they're the current champions, but the J League does not compare to the squad.
When do you get someone like Nuno in?
Because he's going to Tottenham.
No, he's not.
Here he is.
No, he's not.
Yeah, I guarantee you he's going. I guarantee you Nuno is going to North London. Well, and whilst I'm inclined to agree with that sentiment, Nuno is going to Tottenham. Guaranteed. The favourite now for Palace, I did say it was Sean Dyche. It is now Eddie Howe. It's changed within the last 24 hours. So Eddie Howe is now the favourite for the Crystal Palace job. Now, the Crystal Palace job is massive in terms of the amount of change that is needed, because a lot of players are out of contract. They've got I think they've got the oldest squad in the Premier League, so they're definitely going to out with the old, in with the new. Hence why Roy Hodgson is gone. And I did say this last week when we were live streaming the final day of the season. If Frank Lampard was the favourite then, and I just looked at that and went, yeah, I see Frank Lampard getting relegated if he takes over at Palace. I really just don't see them being successful without Roy.
And what's successful for them?
Staying in the Premier League. No, staying in the Premier League.
Well,
that's success.
To be honest, I think they're a pretty steady Premier League club now. I think
they've got but you've got to look at the amount of players that are out of contract at that club, and it's a good proportion of the first team squad.
So we don't know yet. Like, obviously, for right now, they're pretty steady. Obviously, they're probably going to replace a lot of players and bring in a lot of players, younger players. So we'll see what happens in first season. First season, if they're struggling, like they're struggling, then stay in the Premier League will be a success. But I think Palace fans and Palace themselves probably think, we think we're pretty secure. Success for us would be getting closer and closer to 10th.
Okay.
Their best finish was what, 11th or 12th, wasn't it?
Yeah, I've got all the players that are on it. So Benteke out of contract, Jeffrey Schlupp out of contract. Andros Townsend, out of contract. Mamadou Sakho, out of contract. Patrick Van Aanholt, out of contract. Nathaniel Klein, out of contract. James McCarthy, out of contract. James MacArthur, out of contract. Joel Ward, out of contract. Gary Cahill, out of contract. Scott Dan, out of contract. Martin Kelly, out of contract. Wayne Hennessy, out of contract. Connor Wickham, out of contract. Stephen Henderson, out of contract. Sam Woods, out of contract. That's quite a lot. Okay.
The whole bloody squad.
It does. Well, it's a lot of It's just saying centre back, A lot of it is their defenders. A lot of it is defensive players. Defense. They have got a few midfielders there as well as I believe 2 goalkeepers as well. They have obviously Michy Batshuayi. They have got an option to buy him.
I think they should.
And they should exercise that right if they can. Then they should
just to replace Benteke.
Yeah, just to replace Benteke because it's unlikely that any of those players are getting new contracts. All the articles say Crystal Palace contract crisis with the majority of their squad set to leave.
Yeah. Free as well.
And on free transfers. I see that as a tough job, and I think the perfect candidate for the Crystal Palace job is not Eddie Howe, it's not Frank Lampard. It's you pay Burnley their fair share and you get Sean Dyche.
Yeah, safe pair of hands. Yeah.
Safe pair of hands. And even, by the way, even if you get relegated with Sean Dyche, he'll get you back.
Back up straight away,
because he did it with Burnley.
Yeah.
So if you give Sean Dyche time, he'll establish, he'll keep Crystal Palace at their level.
I might be wrong, but I'm guessing Crystal Palace will have a little bit more of a budget than Burnley.
I'm not sure. I'd imagine so, but then again, Burnley have just been taken over by Americans.
Well, hopefully they give him a bit more money to spend. Cause I think he's so heavily restricted, and with such a small budget, like he barely ever buys new players.
That's true.
If he was actually given a bit more freedom, a bit more flexibility, I think he could take Burnley up. I'm not saying reach top 10, but higher than what they've been finishing the last couple of seasons.
They finished 17th this season.
That's what I mean. Like they've been slipping. Like they've had a good start of the season and then slipped towards the bottom, towards the end.
So for
not good.
So who would you have at Palace? Who do you reckon would be the next Palace manager? For me, I mean the obvious choice is Sean Dyche. You pay Burnley the compensation that they would need.
That's if that happens. Dyche. Like if they can do that, then Sean Dyche. But I think Burnley would be an idiot to let him go.
I mean, he does. The reason I say that is that Sean Dyche only has 1 year left on his Burnley contract.
Yeah, but then
he could just say, "I'm not going to sign a new one," so you might as well just let me go.
We're thinking of what if. So obviously, if they say if Sean Dyche says, "I'm not going to sign a new deal," then he's still got 1 year left. So he needs someone to hire in the meantime. Do you get someone in his interim and then wait for Sean Dyche if he guarantees he's going to come?
No. You'd need a permanent manager
but then
for the job that Palace
with the contract situation. You need someone guaranteed to keep in the Premier League until Sean Dyche comes on. You don't want to.
You need a long-term solution.
And then have Sean Dyche coming in.
Palace need a long-term solution now.
Yeah, but they
can't afford to wait. So unless they can agree a compensation fee with Burnley,
you need someone else.
Nuno's the third favourite. To be honest, why would he step down from Wolves to take the Palace job? No. Steve Cooper, the current Swansea boss. I don't see him leaving Swansea, to be honest. But I
reckon he could do worse than Frank Lampard. I mean, I don't think that's the level he should be at for his first. Well, should have been at for his first job.
Lampard is the fifth favourite. I don't see Frank Lampard being successful at Crystal Palace. It's too big.
He's successful. Just keep him secure.
I don't think he could. With the amount of change needed at Palace and the amount of players he's going to have to bring in, I don't see it happening. Because I don't think he has enough experience as a manager to be able to... Look at what happened with Chelsea when he was able to bring in more players. Look what happened this season at Chelsea when he was able to bring in players that he wanted. And how there was a disconnect between himself and players. I think there would be...
Chelsea's a different level than Crystal Palace. He's saying he hasn't got no experience, but It's bloody hell. It's one of those rules of what how can I get experience if you don't give me experience? If no one's willing to take a chance on Frank Lampard, how's he meant to get his proper experience?
I just view the transition of having to bring in more players. I would view there
Who would
being a
be your
disconnect
available
between.
safe pair of hands for the season ahead?
I don't think there is one. I think Palace are one of my favourites to go down next season. Unless they have a
Obviously,
stellar
we'll do
transfer
those
market.
predictions close to the start of the
Yeah,
season.
unless they have a stellar transfer window.
Well, to be honest, even
Which
if
I
they
don't
bring
see
in good
them.
players, there's no guarantee they're going to mould together anyway.
Exactly.
Gel.
And I think if you have Frank Lampard as manager in that situation, I don't think that. I think not only will the players not gel well, I don't think management and players will gel well. And I think you'll just
Obviously,
find Palace finishing 8th. This is all hypothetical,
speculation.
of course.
Speculation at this point.
Yeah, but I think you'd see Crystal Palace probably get relegated under Frank Lampard. Probably the same with Eddie Howe as well, in my opinion. I think Sean Dyche is the only option for Crystal Palace. And they have to.
Right,
however much money he's going to cost, he is their only option.
Do it.
Well,
obviously we'll see what what's his name, Steve Parish, the owner, what he does, and obviously we'll see what happens. And then, when someone does get appointed, we'll react properly to it.
Yeah, it's pure
Give our
speculation
thoughts.
at this point. Just looking at Sheffield United, they have a new manager today. Well, not just today. This week they appointed a new manager, and it wasn't Slaven Bilic was our choice. Like I kept saying throughout the season, just get Slaven Bilic. Just get Slaven Bilic at Sheffield United. Well, to be fair, they've got somebody with a lot of championship experience in the former Fulham and Watford manager Slavisa Jokanovic. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Rubbish names.
Yeah.
Rubbish with names, but he has a lot of championship experience with Watford and with Fulham.
I don't see him come up next season.
See, I still think they've got a good squad. I'm not sure about the manager.
Yeah, I think he's all right. I don't think he's good enough to get them up. Well, they need to start by scoring goals.
Yes, that's for sure. With West Brom, it's the former Sheffield United manager still, Chris Wilder, the favourite for that one. I could see West Brom getting promoted if Chris Wilder took over.
Because
he did it with a Sheffield United team that had no business being in the Premier League.
Yeah.
Like, remember when they got promoted, everyone was like, they have no business being in the Premier League. Like, they are not good enough to be in the Premier League. And he did very well.
They've got a good foundation. I think Chris Wilder does well with a good foundation. I think you've got a good keeper. I reckon if they maybe add a little bit to the defence, don't bring back from a out of date Chelsea defenders like Ivanovic into it. Bloody hell. Actually build a solid defence, then I reckon they're all right, and they've got good attacking players. If they decide to stay around. So I reckon he could do all right with them. Yeah.
Moving forward, let's have a look at Tottenham. Let's have a look at Tottenham.
So we have to.
Well, I've got a message from Daniel in North London, and he says, whatever I said, I didn't mean it. I just want Poch back for good. And that is the only take that joke I will make in this show. Want Poch back for good. PSG apparently doubling down on this and saying nope. So that has really ended this already.
Yeah, nope.
Why would he? Apparently he's not settled well in PSG, and apparently the PSG hierarchy are somewhat embarrassed losing the Liga Untitled to Lille.
Why can't PSG's owners stop being sore losers and just gracefully admit that Lille just done better than them over the course of a season?
Well, when PSG smashed in goals and Lille, in comparison, no one else really did in France compared to PSG on that scale.
Well,
They're just goal machines.
I'm hoping that this. I don't really care what happens to PSG and Poch, to be fair. Just as long as he doesn't go back to Tottenham. I hope that the PSG owners spitting the dummies out that much that they forget to get Mbappe's contract sorted out, because you got a year left, and we're going to get him.
So the latest on it is PSG have no intentions of letting the Argentine leave, but there are reports on Twitter.
There will always be reports.
Yeah, take it with an unhealthy dose of salt that Mauricio Pochettino has told PSG he wants to leave.
BS.
I don't think that's
always
true.
Be. You know what? Like even the end of last season when we just won the Premier League, there'll still be idiots out there going, "Oh well, Jurgen wants to leave." There's rumours, there's whispers. Load of bull crap.
Currently,
negative people.
Currently, Mauricio Pochettino is the current favourite to take the Tottenham job at 4-6 with Bet Victor, 8-15 with Paddy Power, 1-2 with William Hill, and then it's Erik ten Hag, the current Ajax boss, at 5-1.
How would he even leave?
I don't know. I have no idea. I don't see.
They're all better teams than bloody Tottenham.
And Tottenham, let's be fair, they're going to be in. They are in a somewhat transitional
conference.
They are in a somewhat transitional spell at the moment because they're going to lose their best player in Harry Kane.
Yeah.
And if Harry Kane leaves, does Hong Min Son leave? Does Son leave? Because I would, if I were him and I saw Harry Kane leave, I'd be like, well, maybe I should be talking to my agent about getting a move to a top 4, top 5 club.
Top 6 club.
Top 6 club, yeah.
Higher than Tottenham, anyway.
I mean, he's not joining West Ham or Leicester, let's say that. But no. So that leaves his options at
I think
City, United, Liverpool, Chelsea.
Yeah, any club in the top 4 would take a Son Heung-min. I think he's a brilliant player.
Yeah, I think he's fantastic. China are 7-0 up against Guam, by the way, just to bring you that breaking news.
In the 38th minute.
In the 87th minute, they are 7-0 up. 7-0 up against Guam. Only 7 though. Yeah, it's not a rugby score yet. I'm not sure who else. I don't know who takes that Tottenham job. I don't know. He takes. Actually, no. I do know who takes it. Nuno.
It's me. You
said I said Nuno earlier. Nuno takes it.
I think
because why would you leave Wolves if you're not going to get a better job? Nuno he's not even one of the favourites, by the way. Nuno, and I'm shocked by that. I would have thought that he would have. Like, where's he going to go? Where's Nuno going to go?
Oh, anyway, what? Just not.
Yeah, Tottenham.
I mean, I would, to be honest, in all seriousness, I would have thought he would have been at least more favourite over Erik ten Hag anyway. Why would Erik ten Hag leave Ajax? Ajax is better than Tottenham.
Yeah, if I was ten Hag, I would say stay at Ajax. If Tottenham don't get Poch, then who else are they going to get? Because nearly everyone they've approached allegedly has said, "I'm not interested."
No thanks.
Allegri apparently said no, although that's rumour and innuendo. They also approached. I'm trying to remember the guy's name. I can't remember. They've approached a few people, but they've had the words "no" being told to them.
F off.
Yes. With the joke being that lots of foreign managers were learning English to turn down both Arsenal and Tottenham.
Yeah.
If it's not Poch, then it's Nuno.
Well,
that's
we'll see.
I would put money on. I would put money on Nuno being the next Tottenham manager, and I'm not a betting man.
More than I am. Go on.
25-1 with Bet Victor, 22-1, 33-1 with William Hill.
Put a fiver.
See, I don't gamble ever since I lost hundreds of pounds in the World Darts Championship final in Phil Taylor's final match.
Yeah.
You didn't win, Phil, and you should have. You should have beat Rob Cross, you bastard. Damn it. So, yes, I stopped gambling after that point, which is the best thing I ever did, because gambling's for mugs. But...
When you wear one.
Yeah, I was a mug. I was a mug once for gambling on darts.
I'm trying to see where it stops. I think he's still one now.
Yeah, like Nuno's for me. Nuno for me is going to be the next Tottenham manager. I mean, Jurgen Klinsmann is higher in the odds than Nuno. That's insane to me. Jurgen Klinsmann.
When was his last job?
His last job was at Hertha Berlin in February of last year. He left.
Didn't know that.
Yeah, he was managing the United States national team for a long time, and brought in a lot of kind of German or German-born, somewhat American-related players into the US national team, and a lot of US players actually ended up going to Germany, which is why we've kind of got the kind of golden age of American footballers at the moment.
Yeah. We got Pulisic that was there. You got what's his name? Tyler Adams at Leipzig. You got Weston McKennie at Juventus. He was in the Bundesliga.
I mean, there are quite a few. It's not just American players. There are quite a few just North American players in general. Because Bayern Munich have the that Canadian.
Alphonso Davies. Yeah.
He's just. I really want. I don't care how much he costs. Somebody in the Premier League sign him. I want to see him in the Premier League so badly. He's just. I rate him so highly. I want to see him in the Premier League.
I think he's brilliant. I think he's second best left back in the world.
I want to see him in the Premier League. I don't care how much it costs. I don't care whether it's 100, 200, 300. Just sign him. Somebody sign him.
No one's going to sign him for that much money. And why would Bayern let him go?
I know, but I just Bayern, please. I want to see him play in the Premier League. Just let me have this.
Nagels won't let him go.
No. So yeah, Nuno for me. Nuno to Tottenham. I don't. Do you see Poch performing the ultimate U-turn?
No.
Nope. New. Real Madrid are managerless after the worst manager in the world left, and gave them their first trophyless season for 11 years. So that really, really did work out for you.
Anticlimactic.
Zizou. The obvious favourite at the moment is the former Internazionale boss, Antonio Conte. And by the way, what is happening at Inter Milan right now, we don't have time to get into it today, but quite frankly, what is going on there is scary.
Yeah.
Because they're all fleeing a sinking ship.
Well, apparently Conte was speaking to the board, and he wants to obviously, progress. And the board would no,
we have to make budget cuts.
You have to make budget cuts. You have to cut this player, that player, this player.
We're selling this guy, that guy.
Conte was like, no.
No, I quit.
Gone.
Bye-bye.
And then, apparently it's already started happening. Their right back, Ashraf Hakimi, looks like he's getting sold to PSG for 80 million. Apparently, Lukaku and Martinez and all the other players are trying to jump out while they can. After just winning the bloody Serie A. Like, what?
Stupid, whoever the owners are of Inter. They're just... the Inter owners are the guy... I know who the Inter owners are. They're the company in China that owned the Super League, the Chinese Super League club that won it, and then they folded that club.
Oh, there you go.
Fuxin Group or something like that. But yeah, they're having let's just say, in terms of a business story, that their core market in China, Suning, that's it, Suning. They're the majority shareholder in Inter Milan, and they had a COVID just wrecked their business in China, and they are not having they've lost a lot of money, hence why they're having to cut budgets, hence why they folded their football team. But now they're having to essentially say to Inter Milan, we're not going to put any more money in, so you got to sell your your best players, and Antonio Conte left.
Yeah.
And to be fair,
Imagine just winning the championship and then being told, oh yeah, all your players that won you the title, that got to piss them off, got to
yeah,
let them off,
Imagine if that happened to Leicester City when they won the Premier League, that everyone had to leave, that Vardy had to leave, Kasper Schmeichel had to leave. I know players like Mahrez and Kante left, but if everybody was told, no, we have to sell you now because we've got to have budget cuts and all that. I see Inter not even finishing in the top 7 in Italy next season. Let's be honest. And you throw in the extra of Jose at Roma, and you've got to see Roma doing well because the Italian league is incredibly. It suits.
It suits Jose's
style. It's the only league really left that suits his style, so he could still be successful at Roma. So we'll wait and see. Of course, the last club he managed in Italy was Internazionale, where he won the treble. Well, that does not look like it's going to happen again. But Antonio Conte, the current favourite to be the next Real Madrid manager, the problem that I would have as a manager with Real Madrid is that they are a club that eats you up and spits you back out again very quickly.
Yeah,
it's a quick turnaround. It's not a long term.
That's not just the club itself. That's the bloody fans and everyone. Yeah, you are friendless there.
Yeah, there's no point negotiating a 5-year contract because you're only going to see 1.5 years out of it.
Yeah,
unless you can get a good compensation deal.
You've got to go in there and be a sort of cold, heartless, emotionless machine.
Yeah,
because there's you're penned in from all sides, and you've got to be perfect. And even then, if they just don't like you, then they just hound you out.
Absolutely, and it's
don't give you a chance. That's because the Real Madrid fans, sorry, but they're spoiled brats.
Oh, they are. Yeah, they think.
Oh, they just hound people out because they don't like him. It's disgusting. Human beings who okay. I mean, I get Gareth Bale. They he just didn't like them, so they didn't like him. But even at some point, they were like booing Cristiano Ronaldo and that. And it's like he's literally been in your illustrious history.
He's been one of your equivalent
best, he's been your
God
best player
to you guys, and it's Real Madrid is not a club that
just here's an early prediction for you.
Oh, I think we've lost him.
Atletico.
Oh, you're going to have to start that again. We lost you. So come in with your prediction.
So I'm saying early prediction. Atletico for next season's La Liga. 2 in a row.
Again, 2 in a row. Back to back.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I think so. Because I think no matter who comes in at Real and then what's happened with Barcelona, they're both in transition terribly. What's stopping Atletico?
The idea Simeone might leave, although he's not being touted with it.
Why would you even think about leaving?
I don't know. The only club I could see him going to, and it's unlikely, is PSG.
Yeah.
But other than that, I really don't see him leaving Atletico. He's been there for near a decade, hasn't he?
Yeah. Where would he go?
Yeah. No, I'm inclined to agree with you. I mean, Barcelona
who knows?
I think Barcelona will be Atleti's biggest competition. I don't think Real Madrid will, because if Aguero goes to Barcelona, then I see.
Yeah, they're getting some good players in Barcelona. They are on a free, because I know that I think Wijnaldum's joining on a free. I think they might be getting Memphis Depay on a free. Obviously, Aguero's joining on a free. So
I think
I don't get is. As I said, I know you've probably told us before, but they let Luis Suarez go at 33 years old because he was too old and too slow, and yet they're bringing in 33-year-old Sergio Aguero, who's too old and too slow.
I think Atleti should try and hijack that deal. Bring Aguero back to
get him and Suarez
back
in
to
together.
Atleti. Bring Aguero back to Atleti for a second spell, and him and Suarez would just destroy everybody.
Talking people coming back and that. Did you hear about Fernando Torres? Apparently, he's 37
Yes, he's
now,
coming
isn't he?
back. He's coming out of retirement. Yes,
Yeah.
he is. Oh, weird. Yeah, but where's he going to go? Who's he going to play for?
I'd love him to come back to us. I love him.
No. No. What, so you could just boo him every time he tries to warm up? You suck, Fernando, you suck.
Come on. Don't you remember a couple of years back when we had I think it was Stephen Gerrard's charity match? Or his centennial or something.
Yeah, testimonial, yeah.
Testimony, that's it. And he had Suarez and Torres together, and the crowd loved them both. Cheered both of them because they're legends of the club.
But he left for 50 million quid to go to bugger off down south.
Well, he was getting injured. He was already injured anyway, and he was on a down scale anyway. We got his best years.
Yeah, to be fair, that is 100% true.
That's when that era is when Spain had their era of dominance, and he was one of the main reasons for it.
Yeah. Who else?
But he won the Euros in 2008, the World Cup in 2010, and then 2012 they won Euros again.
The Euros again, yeah. Back to Real Madrid. We were talking about Conte being the favourite. Raul is the second favourite. I don't see them going in that direction. I don't think they should go in that direction. I think the Zidane experiment has now ended.
Yeah, I don't think they're the kind of people who'll give a former player a chance like that.
I think they need to bring in an actual manager with experience. Yeah. Raul will probably be Real Madrid manager at some point, but I think he needs to go away and manage.
Yeah,
he's currently the boss at Castilla, their B team, essentially. And then Pochettino is the third favourite, and Joachim Low is the fourth favourite. Of course, I forgot about Joachim Low.
Mr. Pick as a winner. Mr. Lowe has already said no.
He's picking his nose. He's picking his nose.
Mr. Scratches
He's picking
balls
his nose on air, and then he goes. Did you ever see that clip of him picking his nose at the World Cup and then going?
Yeah.
And eating it. I love that clip.
I've seen him when he's wearing jeans. He sticks his hands out his pants.
Yeah, and then he goes for a sniff.
He sniffed that.
He goes.
Yeah.
You know what that reminds me of?
Mr. Sniffer's penis a lot,
Have you ever seen?
I've already said no.
Have you ever seen Angry Kid on YouTube?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like stinky finger.
No, but there's literal footage of him doing that.
I mean, it'd be
every time I look at him now, I think
it'd be worse if it had gone round the other way and he'd scratch his ass and then went.
Oh.
Maybe he'd use something new on his. Maybe he'd use that minty stuff that makes your balls tingle. What is it called? What is it? Now I sound freaking weird.
That's for you, mate.
What's the name of it? I forget the. Oh, that's it. Original sauce. Original sauce. Maybe you'd use that and going, oh, my balls feel very tingly. Let me just check. Oh, yes, so minty fresh.
Imagine him going to his assistant and going, smell that? Where's that been here? My balls. Smell my balls. Smell my balls.
I would like for you to smell my balls, Mr. Garrison.
Oh, it's
common.
Oh, suck. Yeah,
he just suck. Yeah, suck my balls.
Yes. Honestly, true story. I had that as my ringtone back when I was in year 8, and I had that as my alarm ringtone. I went off in my class, my science class.
And he went, why? Oh, what was your teacher's reaction?
I remember Mr. Evans was he was down with the kids, so he kind of just smirked a bit and went to turn it off.
Yeah, turn it off, and I will not. I love it. Yeah, so Joachim Low, the only manager that says, why don't you smell my balls? They're minty fresh bollocks from Joachim Low. Xabi Alonso also the 5th favourite, and then Rafa is after that, but he's already been Real Madrid manager. Why would they make him again manager? There are some good managers out. I forgot about Joachim Low, that he was available.
Very forgettable person.
He is. I don't see him going to Tottenham.
I don't see him managing any club.
His track record as a club manager is appalling.
We've already been through this. It's terrible. Yeah.
It's an appalling record that he's got as a club manager.
I mean, how the bloody hell did he get the German national job and hold it for so long?
Because he was an assistant to Klinsmann, so he knew the players and he knew the system.
Oh, there you go.
There you go. That's the odds. And then finally, Wolves looks like Bruno Lage, the former Benfica boss, on course to be the new manager.
Just any Portuguese manager.
Well, the top two people linked to Bruno Lage, who's been in negotiations anyway, and the current Roma boss, who's now leaving for Mourinho, and that's Paulo Fonseca, who is the second favourite. But it looks like Bruno Lage is going to be the next Wolverhampton Wanderers manager, so another Portuguese boss for them. And then you've got like Victor Pereira, the 4th favourite. I don't know why Rafa Benitez is the 3rd favourite, but he's in there. But it is mostly Portuguese managers that are being linked with that job. So Bruno Lage expected very much to be the next Wolverhampton Wanderers manager. And that completes your managerial merry-go-round. Thanks for tuning in to this week's edition of the Football Fan Show podcast. We're back next week with our review of the season, so we've got plenty of awards to give out. You can join us live, twitch.tv/The Football Fan Show, next Saturday, 7 p.m. on Twitch, or tune into the podcast available every Sunday from 10 o'clock on your favourite podcast provider. Cheers for checking us out this week. See you next week. Bye.